At the top, you can see the instructions. They say, listen and answer questions 1 to 4. Then below that, you can see the multiple choice questions. Before each, you'll hear a recruitment consultant giving a talk to students who are interested in a career in construction. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 4. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
Hello everyone, my name's Alex Johnson and I'm a recruitment consultant at Build Right Recruitment. We're an agency that specialises in providing staff for the construction industry. Now I understand that you're all final year students in the School of Engineering and you're interested in working in construction. So I'd like to talk to you today about some of the opportunities available and the skills you'll need to succeed in this sector. Construction is a diverse field, which involves the building of many different types of premises. Of course, the main two types of premises are residential properties and commercial properties. At the moment, we're seeing increasing demand for properties that are built using energy-efficient materials and green technologies to keep up with the tightening regulations. Supply depots and storage facilities are another type of construction that you could be involved in, depending on your job. Also, governments worldwide are investing heavily in updating and expanding infrastructure, leading to a surge in projects related to roads, bridges, and bus and rail networks. This means there's a need for civil engineers and project planners who can oversee these large-scale projects. When it comes to working in the construction industry, having a formal education in construction fields such as engineering or project management can be beneficial. A university qualification may open doors to specific roles, but many professionals in the industry have built successful careers through hands-on experience and apprenticeships instead. Being able to set project budgets, oversee payments, and ensure financial resources are used efficiently can be important, although it's more relevant for managerial roles rather than a necessity for every position. Something that companies consistently look for is familiarity with industry-specific tools and methods. Knowing how to operate advanced machinery, interpret architectural drawings, and use modern planning software is something that makes job applicants stand out. Those who can confidently apply these tend to be highly sought after in the field. Also, being able to collaborate with others is key. Whether it's explaining project requirements to a team, discussing timelines with suppliers, or resolving issues on site, being able to do this effectively with different groups is crucial to keep projects running smoothly.
Okay, first question is, according to Alex, which 2 areas of the construction industry are experiencing significant growth? Alex says, we're seeing increasing demand for properties that are built using energy-efficient materials and green technologies. So this confirms the second option, environmentally friendly building. He also says, governments worldwide are investing heavily in updating and expanding infrastructure, leading to a surge in projects related to roads, bridges, and bus and rail networks. So the other correct answer is transportation works. You may have heard Alex say the main 2 types of premises are residential properties and commercial properties. While this may seem to suggest the first and third options, it doesn't say that these areas are undergoing growth, so they're just distractors. Similarly, industrial warehouses are covered when Alex says supply depots and storage facilities are another type of construction that you could be involved in. But again, no mention is made of this being an area of growth. So you can see how the exam uses distractors so that you have to listen very carefully rather than just word spot. The next question was, which 2 skills or qualifications does Alex say are essential for success in the construction industry? Alex says, knowing how to operate advanced machinery, interpret architectural drawings, and use modern planning software is something that makes job applicants stand out. Those who can confidently apply these tend to be highly sought after. So this means that technical knowledge is a correct answer. Alex also says explaining project requirements to a team, discussing timelines with suppliers, or resolving issues on site Being able to do this effectively with different groups is crucial, which relates to communication. Did any of you get tricked by the distractors? Let's go over them. Alex said having a formal education in construction-related fields can be beneficial, but many professionals in the industry have built successful careers through hands-on experience and apprenticeships instead. So he's mentioning a degree, but saying it's not essential, so that's the opposite of what we're looking for. He also mentions being able to set project budgets, oversee payments, and ensure financial resources are used efficiently. But again, this is just something that can be important and is more relevant to managerial roles, so again, it's not essential. Here they are. The instructions say questions 5 to 10. Choose the correct answer and move it into the gap. So this is a drag and drop style question. In the paper-based test, the options would be lettered and you would just write the correct letter for each question number. Then you have a question. In this case, it asks, what information does Alex give about each of the following job opportunities? You can see a list of items on the left. These tend to be clearly identifiable things like names, places, activities, and so on. In this case, they're names of jobs. Then on the right, there's a list of answer options. These are usually descriptions. Questions in the listening test are mainly testing your ability to be able to listen for detail about each list item and to recognize the connections between information to see which two items match together. Some top tips for matching are: read the list items and listen out for these in the recording. And the list items will be covered in the same order in the recording as the order they're listed in, so this can help you to know which one to focus on as you listen. In the preparation time, you should also read the answer options. One important point is that while the list items are usually mentioned exactly as they're written, the options will often be paraphrased. And as always in listening, watch out for distractors. When you hear the rest of the talk, you'll have 30 seconds to look at questions 5 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 5 to 10.
Now, let's take a look at some of the roles that we currently have available in the construction industry. First up, we have a site manager position. This is a permanent position that involves overseeing daily operations and ensuring the project stays on schedule. This is for a large global organization, so it requires travel to international project sites. The salary for this role is very high given the seniority of the position and the nature of the work. We also have an open position for a building laborer. This is an entry-level position ideal for those wanting a first job in this industry. No formal qualifications are needed, but applicants must provide details of previous employers who can vouch for their reliability and work ethic. For those with a background in workplace safety, there's an opening for a safety manager. The project isn't too big or complex, so this role is for 3 days a week and involves implementing and enforcing safety measures on the construction site and some training of team members. There's also a role available for a carpenter. This is a temporary role with a fixed end date. Since this job is based in a remote location, employees are based on-site in dorms provided by the company. A Certificate 3 in carpentry is required for this role. Moving on, we have a vacancy for a heavy machinery operator. This is on a project that uses very specific, unique equipment, so training is provided to expand your knowledge of different types of equipment. You need to have strong mechanical knowledge and at least 2 years of prior experience in a similar position. Finally, we have a listing for a purchasing coordinator. This role involves working closely with suppliers to ensure materials arrive on time. We know this company well and the workers are lively and sociable, so there's a really positive workplace culture. A degree in business administration, finance, or a related field is required.
Alex says it requires travel to international project sites, so we know requires overseas travel is a correct match. You may have heard Alex say this is a permanent position, and though you can see the word permanent in this option, it says chance for the role to become permanent. So that's not a true match. It's not saying the same thing. The next item is building laborer. For this one, Alex says applicants must provide details of previous employers who can vouch for their reliability and work ethic. This is describing a job reference, so it matches with references required. The next item is safety manager. Alex says this role is for 3 days a week, so this matches with part-time work only. Again, the meaning is the same, but the wording is different. Next, we have carpenter. The recording says employees are based on site in dorms provided by the company. So the answer is includes accommodation. You may have also heard based in a remote location, but this doesn't necessarily suggest it requires overseas travel, so that option isn't a true match. The next job is heavy machinery operator. For this one, we hear training is provided to expand your knowledge of different types of equipment. This means a chance to learn new skills. You may have also heard mention of training in the safety manager role description, but there it was a manager who would be providing some training of team members, not receiving the training themselves, so that job doesn't match with learning new skills. The final item is purchasing coordinator, and the recording says the workers are lively and sociable. And this matches well with part of a fun team. And that leaves chance for role to become permanent and involves overtime work as for this listening practice test. How many did you get correct? If you got all of them correct, you could be well on track to getting a